A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nelles, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and on the free Odyssey app.
I cannot believe what I am watching here with this Milwaukee Brewers team.
Are you kidding me? Isaac Collins walks it off against a guy that hasn't given up an earned run since June 6th, BA. Hits a bomb to end it, and the Brewers sweep the Mets. I'm telling you, something magical is happening right here in Milwaukee with this Milwaukee Brewers team.
I'm going to call it euchre magic for now. Looking down from above, and this Brewers squad, 73-44, the best record in baseball, 9 straight wins. It is somebody different every day, and today it is Isaac Collins with his first ever big league walk-off.
Good morning and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon on The Fan, 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, the Odyssey app, the iHeart app, free on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. You heard it there on FanDuel Sports Wisconsin. The Brewers complete the sweep with the walk-off by Isaac Collins yesterday. My name's Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. There's no more Thunder at the fair, and we send our thoughts to everybody out at the fair having to cancel Sunday at the fair. Never seen that happen before. But we are back. We are here on this Monday morning, and he is here, the one, the only, the magnificent Mason Crosby.
What's up? Hey, good to have you back, Mitch. Yeah, we don't have to share you with the fair, and I just want to send out my thoughts and prayers to all those that are dealing with all the flooding around the state. I was in Wisconsin last week, and was able to somehow get a flight out on Saturday night, but it got crazy. So just thinking all those that are affected by that. And then, the resiliency and what Wisconsin fans do showing up to that Brewers game yesterday. What was there still 33,000 people there? What was the?
Yep, 33,000 plus of a sellout, 42,000. And remember, Miller Parkway and Brewers Boulevard was closed. Half the parking lot, if not more, was flooded. So people had to figure out, what bar, what restaurant, what shuttle, what bike path.
How to get there.
Yeah, exactly. Getting there late. And listen, not everybody's going to agree with, should the Brewers have delayed it a little bit? I don't think anybody thought the Brewers should postpone it. But, and listen, at some point, it's going to be, the game's got to go on. Because the game's going to go on. And
if you can play the game, you're going to play the game. I think, but we just have to say so much about the fans, Wisconsin fans, like the resiliency, just like what they do, bringing it. Got to go and see just an epic game, and hats off to the Brewers for stepping up, and Isaac Collins going out there and just hitting a dinger to win that thing. You couldn't have written a better story for what the weekend ended up being. I did hear this story, and I don't know if y'all heard this. I guess the announcers, kind of like the Jets, their play-by-play and their crew were in Green Bay. They drove down to Milwaukee. They had a flight out of Milwaukee, and I guess they got trapped and got stuck like about quarter mile from their hotel and had to figure out a way to get there. I think they got hit by water. I think they said it on the Brewers during the game yesterday. They told that story. So I was listening to that, and I'm just like, wow. It must have just come up quick and gotten crazy out there.
They could have crashed at the Nelles household. We had a couple extra beds.
Yeah, your house is always open.
Exactly.
For anyone coming through.
For any visitors coming through.
Exactly.
We have an open door policy. But the Brewers do get the win yesterday, 7-6, after trailing 5-0. And let's talk about Quinn Priester, who's been unbelievable this season. He's down 5-0, and we're thinking, all right, the win streak when he's pitching is over. The win streak for the team, 8 in a row, is probably over. And this team never gives up, Mason. Down 5-0. Joey Ortiz basically says, hold my beer.
I mean, our guy, our guy Bill.
And he turns on the first pitch. On his way back, Nemo, it's gone! Contreras homering in back-to-back games. Brewers on the board. Bernie hits the slide. It's 5-1 Mets.
Right, Mace? Bill Contreras, professional hitter.
Oh, yeah, just Wild Bill. He's out there just doing his thing. I mean, that guy is unbelievable. I mean, we got to talk about, what was that? Was that the Saturday night game? Whenever, the tag out, we didn't have a chance to talk about that. So, I mean, we got to talk about that. I mean, what a series this was. And I love his, confidence and like the way he kind of leads in that. That tag out at home, obviously Perkins throws a strike, but it's like he was just casually standing there, just kind of watching everything unfold. As soon as that ball came, he just it was like so awesome how quick he got that glove down and got that tag. I mean, what an outstanding, recovery for a player right now, because we were talking about Bill, like his bat needs to get hot. He needs to start, helping this team on offense, and he has done that, and he has just been fantastic. I mean, this series had to be one of the best series for in his career, I can imagine. I mean, he's been out of his mind.
The center field, a base hit. Perkins throw to the plate on a hop. The tag! He is out! Ball game over! Blake Perkins loads up the rifle.
The best part of that whole play is Bill Contreras calling him out, and then the umpire calls him out. Like, Contreras knew it from the jump, and that was, just chills just thinking about the play even.
All right, so
that call. He threw it 97 from center field, too. Just ripped that thing.
Can we get an inning from Blake Perkins if we need him out of the bullpen?
Yeah.
Dude has a rifle. All right, so Mason, which is the better ending? Like, as a fan in the building, do you want to see gunned out at home plate to win it? Or Isaac Collins, guy nobody outside of Milwaukee's ever heard of, in the running for Rookie of the Year against one of the best closers in all of baseball, going yards? Like,
I don't know if you can say which one is better.
I know.
That throw and that tag out at home. Think of the juice there, and then they have to review it, so you have to celebrate it twice, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like they knew he was out. Like Bill knew as soon as he did it, he's out, and then you got to wait a moment, and then it's celebrate again. That crowd was in for it this weekend. They just got the best of the best, and this has to be like one of those defining series for this team. Like, you're going to look back at this and be like, wow, they found a way. They early on in the year, it was like, all right, get to 4 wins, do all this. They couldn't, if they got behind, right? Tommy, we talked about that, and you always mention that on leadoff shows. Like, if they got behind, they were not a great team. They had a hard time kind of grinding and catching up, and they had to do that multiple times this weekend, and they found a way to get it done. And you just kind of look at this team, and I was watching this last night, and I'm kind of all over the place, but the comeback, it was kind of like that Red Sox team where they almost like just had this thing about them that it didn't matter. It didn't matter what happened. But the cool thing about this Brewers team, that comeback season for the Red Sox, I think they had to, the year before, their pitching was horrible. Their bullpen was bad. They kind of figured that out. And like this Brewers team's bullpen and their pitching just gets them out of jams, and they keep them in games so that they can go off and find ways to win. It's just been spectacular.
Well, we didn't even play. How can we judge if we didn't even hear the call from Isaac Collins walk off yet?
Brewers have tied it up. Collins, fly ball, deep in the right field. Isaac Collins, it is a walk-off home run. He's done it again. His first ever. And the Brewers have won their 9th straight game.
Well, and then they do they play the interview with Sophia Minnaert that he has, and they play like the replay of the home run, and you can't even hear the live interview with Sophia and Isaac because how loud the crowd was during the home run and during the replay. Like, it drowned it out. That's how into it these fans are.
Oh, they were locked in. I mean, that sound is just deafening. I mean, that gives you chills. I mean, shoot that into your veins. That is the real deal. I mean, that's better than smelling salts. I mean, and you know how we feel about those smelling salts. We haven't gotten them yet. I'm working on getting a deal. We're getting a deal with the smelling salts.
All right, good.
But but then it was the same thing, and I go back to like the Saturday night Perkins interview. Like, what a good dude that Blake Perkins seems to be. And think about these young guys just making huge plays in big moments of these games. I mean, that speaks to what this team is about. That speaks to what Pat Murphy is doing and just being like, hey, go out, enjoy, play ball, do your thing, and then I'm going to push you to do it again the next day, because it's like, well, that was fun, but let's go and do it again. Like, let's get this thing done, and that's what this team's all about.
Yeah, and Pat Murphy never is when you know how Pat Murphy is in these post games, right, Mitch? Where he is like super down to earth, vanilla,
chill.
Bring it back. He had a comment as well talking about the environment over the weekend that is just very uncharacteristic for Pat Murphy to admit something like this.
I mean, it's the best environment. I've been here 10 years. That's the best environment that I've seen. I mean, it's the best environment. I don't know if we added seats or something. I don't really pay attention too much up there, but I don't know what we did, but it just seems louder, wilder. I think it needs to continue because these guys need the support. They're young. Are we the youngest team? I know we're the youngest team of the teams that are still contending, and inexperienced, and throwaways, guys that have been DFA'd, guys that haven't, or guys that have been getting their second chance. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful to see him do it.
Yeah,
it's just beautiful.
But again, he's still like, I don't pay attention to that stuff. Like,
exactly.
He always goes big with like he's not paying attention. But then ask him about the trivia contest in between innings. He's all about the trivia.
He's all about.
Yeah,
that's so
you know
funny.
what? He loves what he loves. But the one thing you talked about Mason about like all these things going on, isn't it just the power of friendship?
It is.
At the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah,
the power
I love
of
that.
friendship?
I love that. That's their motto. That they're leaning into the power of friendship. But this stat, and I sent this to y'all earlier. This stat is unbelievable.
This is nuts.
Since May 25th, the Cubs have the second best record in the NL.
Wait, hold on. Bravo, Cubs.
Yeah, fifth in Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
exactly.
Good for you.
They're
Cubbies.
playing great.
Yeah,
and they have lost 12 games in the standings to the Brewers since that time. Like, that is unbelievable. I mean, when was the last time something like that has happened?
Brewers are 24-4 since July 6th. They have two separate 9-game.
Andrew Vaughn Day?
Andrew Vaughn, they are 23-4. So it's the day after.
So they won the day before they got him, and then or called him up.
Two separate 9-game winning streaks for the first time in franchise history. 3 separate 8-game winning streaks for the first time in franchise history, and they have still yet to lose since Pat Murphy had a pancake on Apple TV.
Well, yeah, exactly. That guy's got pancakes loaded in his pockets. I mean, he's loaded down. But, yeah, those stats are unbelievable. And again, they are just stats at this moment, right? Let's make sure we take that deep breath, and we'll have Drew Wagner on later to make sure we're still looking at this thing the right way. But, I mean, it is something special. I've been a part of teams like this where you are just unconsciously rolling, but you have to reset every time you take the field again, and you have to keep pushing towards it.
So how do you do that, Mason? Because like you can say,
baseball's so different,
agree, right?
But yeah,
but you still have to be like, all right, we had that. Blake Perkins guns him out at the plate on Saturday night. Sunday morning, we got to be ready to go, and then Quinn Priester struggles. Yeah. And then we're like, all right, we're down 5-0. We've won 8 in a row. We've already won this series. Maybe it's a Sunday. We can mail in the rest of the day.
Yeah.
We're good. But no, they don't.
It would have been easy for him to do that, right? But that is, I think, led by Pat Murphy. I think he's just the right manager for this squad, this team that has built up of, like he said, guys that like some teams didn't want. Teams were just kind of done with players that just were kind of trying to find their way. And he's just like, hey, come to Milwaukee. We're going to, through the power of friendship, we're going to get this thing done. We got a lot of guys that are not me guys. They're we guys, and they're going out there not playing we fence, but they're playing. That's right. They're out there just doing it for each other. And I don't think any of them are pointing at that name on the back of their jersey. They're just like, it's about the Brewers. It's about this fan base. I mean, you heard it from Blake Perkins. I feel like they're buying into the culture in Wisconsin as well. Mm-hmm. Like guys are wearing hats from the North Woods, and they're doing. I mean, they're just fully invested in what it means and what this summer has been for the state of Wisconsin, for this Brewers club. And you can just feel that. And I think that's how you reset every day. And they're proving to do that, where it's just like, you know what? That was fun yesterday, but who we got tomorrow? What are we going to do to get 1% better? That's a great point. Even 0.5% better. It's just like, what are we going to try to chase after? Because if you stop chasing, then you become you truly are the hunted, and you find fear creeping in. And you find like that complacency of, man, we've been great. Let's just try to do what we did yesterday. And I talk about that all the time. So, everybody, and I was joking about that this weekend, said something about someone's putting, and they're like, oh, wait, you got to come in. I'm like, hey, you know what? I played 16 years in Green Bay, and everyone still wants to talk about 2012, and it's like, so, you go through that. And I remember that year I was trying to recreate the season before. Right. It was like, just try to do what you did that year. Instead of taking it as a new opportunity every time. And every time you step on that field, every time you go to practice, you're just like, all right, this is a new opportunity to chase something. Try to be a little bit better today.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. 414-677-1250. Be a part of the show. How amazing were those wins by the Brewers this weekend? Which win was better if you had to rank them? Blake Perkins, gunout, or Isaac Collins, walk-off. And you don't really have to rank them. You can celebrate because they both happened. So you don't really have to rank them. We also, during today's show, obviously we have to talk about the Green Bay Packers game Saturday night, because while Blake Perkins was throwing guys out, the Green Bay Packers were, I don't know, playing's not really, did they even show up?
They were throwing guys out in the streets.
Apparently, the entire team and coaching staff have already been fired, and new guys are coming in today. Because the internet says that everybody needs to be fired, so everybody's going to be fired.
Exactly.
Right. That's how it works, right, Mace?
It's not. Yeah.
If Twitter says
it's
it
not
must
going
be real.
well. So So everything's bad. Everything's rough. But we'll try to ease some of those minds, and I'll talk about. I said I was surprised at how many starters actually played and some of the time they got. So I was a little surprised by that, and sometimes. Yeah, I don't love it because it's hard. It's hard to go out there and just get prepared to play, a quarter
and pretend like
series.
It's real.
Yeah.
Is it hard to pretend like it's real?
I think pretend football is not fun football. So I think it's hard to do that. And sometimes whenever you have experience, it almost makes it even harder. I know Aaron always, if he had to go in early on in his career, he was like, all right, we're running a go route. First play.
Yeah,
I'm trying to throw a touchdown. And they did it. They did it one year, and that was the only play. To Jennings. Yeah.
Were you on, or did I tell that story last week at the fair where I had a friend who showed up with a purse at the game?
Oh, really?
And they wouldn't let her in. She walked back to the car to put her purse in the car. By the time she got back, she missed the play. She missed the play, and that was the play. That was the play of the game.
And then the ones are just like, all right, we're done. That was it.
Exactly. Yep. So we will get to the Packers game. Let's talk. And if people want to talk, I don't know what I did to the camera. If you're watching on YouTube, I broke something, so that's all. If you want to talk Brewers, if you want to text in about Brewers, if you want to tweet in about Brewers, or if you want to join the YouTube channel and talk about the Brewers, you can do that. We're going to talk some Packers now, and we're going to get back to the Brewers when Drew Wagner joins the show at 10 o'clock. How's that sound, Mace?
Yep, let's dive in. It's good to have you back, Mitch.
It's good to be. It feels a little weird not being outside, not being with the sights and sounds, although if I was at State Fair today, it'd be pretty lonely.
Yeah, you'd be a little alone.
Yeah, hopefully everybody's doing okay breaking down all the equipment and
that's got to be a tough gig.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That is a 15-hour just manual labor.
We're thinking about you. Hopefully you have some leftover snacks from the fair.
Yes, exactly. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're in the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I think a couple of those, and this goes both ways, are very iffy calls, in my opinion, that don't typically get called in the regular season. And then there are some procedural things that absolutely needed to get called. And there was one even on Amar's long touchdown where I don't think we're in a legal formation. So, that's what the preseason's for, to work out some of the kinks.
That sounded like Matt LaFleur to me. That was Matt LaFleur, courtesy of Packers.com. The Green Bay Packers, I think they lost Saturday night. I don't know the score. I don't know. I mean, I watched the first half, but, it is what, oh, is that me? Oh, that is me. Funny that was the bed there. I love that bed. Todd Rundgren crushing it there for our Green Bay Packers, as always. Mason, do you love that song or do you hate that song?
What song? The Packers song?
Yeah, the bang on the drum all day.
No, I mean, I like it. It's fine.
I mean,
he hates that song.
You can see, it's fine.
Man.
How you doing today? Oh, I'm fine. No, you're not. You like that song? Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, so you don't like it at all.
Country Monday will resume after Packers.
No, I like it. I mean, it gets me, it takes me back a little bit. I do think it's a little, it's a little dated.
Yeah.
I feel like they could, they could bring something new and something juicy. Maybe a modern version of that would be fun.
Ooh, an update.
Yeah.
Kind of a techno version of it. This is
let's
the
get
Mason
that juice
Crosby
going
Show.
up there.
Yeah. We're presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. The Packers did lose Saturday night in an exhibition game. What was your all-time exhibition record, Mason Crosby? Yeah, any idea?
I have no clue.
Did you? How often do you remember going 4-0 or 0-4 in preseason football?
I don't remember. I don't think we went. I can't remember if we ever went 0-4. We probably did at some point, but it was always just a measuring stick, and you just try to get out there and For me, it was just like, all right, hit the ball clean. Try not to do anything too crazy. Don't get hurt. Don't overdo it. It is. Yeah. Those games are tricky because that you have a long season ahead of you, especially whenever you're the only kicker. Say you're the only guy in camp, and you have to play the whole game. Those are live, real reps. That's a whole game. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And so, I would always like. This is bad, but it was like I hoped I had, a couple field goals in the first half. We were moving the ball, doing some stuff, and then I was kind of hoping that my punter, whoever the punter was, had to get a lot of work in the second half. And nice. But the tough part is you can't shut it down. Like I was always kind of staying loose, staying ready. So but I think it's just a measuring stick. And you heard LaFleur talking there before, and I think the disappointment from that game has to be the drops and the penalties. Yep. I mean, they just kept shooting themselves. All the big plays, any kind of impact play. I think Malik Willis had a good run that got called back for a hold. It's just like anytime they got a rhythm going, there was a penalty or someone would make a drop. We got to talk a little bit, and I think, McCole Hardman owned it and he kind of put something out there on Twitter. It's like, all right, what do you do tomorrow? How do you get back on it? But he had a rough game.
Yes.
I mean, we gotta we gotta say what it is. I mean, he had a rough game. He went out there and made a couple bad decisions on punt return, and then had a really bad drop out there as a wide receiver. So that you can chalk that up. You look at it as one game. You make some weird decisions. How are you going to learn from it? How do you move on? He's going to have other opportunities, but I do think you hope he has other opportunities, because if you just look at that one game, it's like how do you put him back there if you feel like his decision making is going to be a little risky?
All right, so how do you respond from a game like that? And there's a lot to unpack from the game Saturday night, knowing that yes, we know that Andy Herman got a tweet 4 minutes into the game saying fire LaFleur. And that people are, what's going on? What's wrong with the team?
Ridiculous.
It's totally ridiculous. But I watched. So I and I admitted it. I did not watch. I'm not watching second halves of preseason games. I'm just not. But in that first half of the game, like Malik Heath has a wide open pass and he drops it, and it's like you're Malik Heath. You are fighting for a spot on this roster. You've been on the team. They've brought in 2 rookies. They've brought in McCole Hardman. And then you're McCole Hardman, and you make some bad choices on punts and drops. So how do you make sure that you respond days off to or they're practicing today, but it's a closed practice. How do you make sure you show up with the right energy the next time and not put too much pressure on yourself?
Yeah, I think you show up at practice and you just, kind of get back to work and you get back to those basics. It's just like we talked about with this Brewers team is, find a way to reset. And it's anything like in golf, we talked about that. I was playing golf this week and it's just like the harder you try, that doesn't always equate to success because you get tight, you get all that. I talked about Bill Contreras, how loose and relaxed he seemed whenever he was literally about to have to make the biggest play of the game. But it's just like that's what you do in those moments. You get yourself in a state of almost just euphoria where it's just like, all right, I'm here, I'm in the moment. Ball comes and I make the play. Yeah. But if he had been stiff and he's kind of locked in, who knows if he would have been as quick and as fluid. So I think you just got to get back to saying hey, I've played this game so many times. I've been out on that field. I've caught thousands of balls. Like, just go out there, run those routes, see the ball, catch the ball. Like, there's no excuse really. If you run a good route, you're open, and that ball is in a good spot. If a defender's not knocking it away, that you shouldn't catch the ball at the professional level.
Right.
And it's like, I know it's tough, and I've seen it for so many years, and it is not easy. And there are little moments where it's just like that. Like, in that moment, what creeps into your mind? Do you get a little tight? Are your hands not, just loose, ready to accept that thing?
Right.
And that's the separator. I mean, that's what separates the elite and the best players in this league from the guys constantly trying to make teams. So, I want those guys to have success, and I want them to do well. And I know this organization and the fan base wants guys to just have opportunities and do well, but you gotta prove it. And there are certain guys that don't have to prove it in preseason games, and there are certain guys that do. Malik Heath, McCole Hardman, guys that haven't proven it at a high level have to do it in these preseason games, because I do think they get weighed more in those preseason games, whereas the veterans are on a day-to-day basis where it's just like, all right, if you're practicing well, you're building towards the season, we know you're going to be ready whenever that day one comes.
So I agree with all that. Mason Crosby, it's the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. What concerned you the most about the Packers' performance Saturday night? 414-677-1250. I hear you about Hardman and I hear you about Heath. You know what I don't like? I don't like first play of the game, Romeo Doubs dropping the ball. And I know I don't know if Romeo Doubs feels like he doesn't need to prove himself, that he's done it. But he had, 2 years ago, he had a nice season. Last year, it looked like he was ready to explode, and then he went sideways. He went the wrong way. And then he has the concussion issues. And it's like, I know it's preseason. I know it doesn't matter, air quotes, matter. But that's not a good look. Like, you're fighting.
No, drops can be contagious, right?
Yeah.
It's like you don't want that to be creeping in. And the only way to stop the narrative and, stop the media and everybody talking about the drop issues is to stop dropping the ball. Like, you just have to do it consistently for a period of time, and that storyline will just be gone.
Right.
Because, it does feel like that story and that line of, concern about drops can creep into something, and then you gotta make sure from the top down, from LaFleur, from Vrabel, from everybody in that offensive space, that is not even part of the conversation. You're not saying we have to catch the ball better, we can't have as many drops. That stuff can't creep in.
Right.
It's just got to be go to work, run good routes. When that ball's there, go get strong hands and go catch that thing. We're just going to work and we're doing our thing. If that creeps into that building where the conversation about we can't have as many drops as last year, we got to be better at catching the ball.
Yep.
That stuff can kind of wear on players, and so they got to be cautious about that narrative as well there up in Green Bay.
414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. That's 414-677-1250. Remember, we're live on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. So Saturday night comes and goes, and all preseason, all we hear about at training camp is how far ahead the defense is from the offense, right?
Yeah.
Right. And we hear that every year. That wasn't a new thing this year. I feel like they emphasized it a little bit more this year than they have in the past. And then we see the first two drives. The offense looks completely anemic, and the defense, which was supposed to be so far ahead of the offense, just gets absolutely cut through by Justin Fields. I know it's preseason. I know it's vanilla. I know nothing matters, but it doesn't make me feel good. I didn't feel good about those first two drives.
Yeah, the concern is you're saying, if it is vanilla, you have Isaiah Simmons, not knowing where to be in coverage, which that was a little bit of a concern. And I think LaFleur maybe touched on that. He's going to get a few more reps in these preseason games than probably some of the other potential starters, just because he needs to, really get ingrained into Hafley's defense. And I wonder if that, now as we're seeing it, once the game starts and all, real bullets are flying, do his eyes play tricks on him? Does he just not settle into what his role in his job is supposed to be? So that's something that we have to watch is a guy like Isaiah Simmons, has that been his issue at other teams? that he just is not always exactly where he needs to be in doing those little details and just the simple things. I mean, one of the coverage snafus, it was like he went left whenever, the tight end was behind him and going right, and he had two guys on each side of him. So, like, why is he going that direction?
Right.
So, like, what did he hear? What did he see that is making those decisions for him? So, those are the types of things, and you figure it out. And again, they're professionals. They're going to go into that film study, and you break it down analytically. You don't put emotion into it. We can, fans, media, everyone else can, derive the emotion, from preseason, from any of these games. But as a club, as an organization, you go in, you analyze it, you look at it, and you go on the practice field and you fix it, and you get it right. And you do it another 100 times so that it's fully ingrained into your system. And then, the hope is it doesn't happen again. If it pops up again, then it becomes, a habit, and it becomes something that
you don't want it to be a pattern, right, Mitch?
Yeah, you don't need patterns like that. And something I was watching, and I don't know, it's just this team. I sometimes wonder if they just have that, where's that dog mentality? Where's that kind of like,
where's Crim Priestert, Isaac Collins, and Chad Durbin?
It's just like that grind mentality. And I don't want to say anything about, it's like obviously Green Bay, it's about winning ball games, and it's about, hunting every day and going out there and being the best version of yourself. And they allow you to cut that loose. But, I think there has to be an edge to this ball club this year to go and get to where they want to go. And I think, if you look back 2010, that was the type of team we had. It was just like backs against the wall. We were hungry. We were, had an edge to us.
Yep.
That's like what we talk about this Brewers team. They have this kind of edge to them that nobody wants to play them. So, like, who's going to lead the way on this Packers team to bring that edge?
I'm going to write that down.
And I think you didn't have McKinney playing. You didn't have some of your Hobbs. I think is going to be a thumper. He's going to be a guy that's going to bring that physicality.
Right,
right.
Yeah, you didn't have some of those guys. But again, it's good. I think the offensive line in that first series had a few question marks. Just kind of with their feet and like how they were the speed that they were playing at. And I think maybe that was good for them to have one preseason game or some looks there where it's like, all right, we need to make sure that we're practicing at this level every day.
Yeah, get ready for this narrative again. This came from, it was the spec in July at least, so this is the most updated I can find.
Okay, what you got?
The Green Bay Packers are the youngest team in the NFL.
Oh,
again,
yeah,
I mean,
love that.
I don't. It's got to be the record for 3 years in a row now
Tell me
to have
more.
the youngest team in the NFL. But like, I was talking about it with Andy. Like, why was there so much beef in a week 1 preseason game too? Like there was punches being
Zach
thrown.
Tom getting after it, huh?
Yeah, like everyone's just on edge this entire time.
Well, Justin Fields finally, got a chance to try to beat the Packers. I mean, was this the first win for Justin Fields against the Packers?
100% it was. 100%.
So I mean, he was over there just getting fired up. Yeah. So I don't know this. It's chippy. It's going to be interesting to see what they do against the Colts next week. With those joint practices as well, because there'll probably be some chippy moments in that as you're kind of deep into camp now, and everybody's kind of like, why? Honestly, you start questioning it. You're like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we playing games almost every day against another team? Because it will get physical, and somebody will go too hard in practice, trying to make that squad, and it's gonna escalate to a bad level.
Do you guys have a guess on who the oldest team in the NFL is?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I was like,
who has a lot of veterans?
First thought came to my mind was like maybe Tampa Bay,
or the Rams with Stafford and Devontae.
Rams could be.
Well, pointing to the quarterback, usually a good strategy. Who's the oldest quarterback in?
So Steelers.
The Steelers are 31st. Actually, the Commanders 32nd with the with Jaden Daniels. Right?
That's not a bad recipe. Having a super young quarterback with the most veteran team.
I think we said that last year during the season. It was like they built a team to kind of have that rookie quarterback have success because they have a ton of veterans on that squad. And they have a kind of relatively maybe old school coach, as well, where it's like a mentality that you're just going out there and you're able to protect that rookie quarterback a little bit. So yeah, that makes total sense.
What did you guys say? Tampa Bay and LA?
Are they like the third?
You guys,
youngest?
they are
so
16 and 17. One is Tampa Bay is 25.99. LA is 26.
Yeah.
You guys were literally right
Just
in
middle of the
lockstep,
pack.
right in lockstep together.
What about Cleveland?
The Cleveland Browns?
Because they do have Flacco. You mentioned Rodgers is the oldest quarterback, but Flacco's the second oldest
25th
quarterback.
Cleveland Browns. So that would put them as like the 7th oldest or whatever, right?
Okay.
They still, obviously they've had the most starting quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, over the last 20 years, and now they have the most on the roster. I mean, how do you have 4 quarterbacks on the roster and then you have to sign somebody because of arm soreness? Like,
crazy,
what are
right?
they doing to these guys?
And Shedeur Sanders, we didn't even lead the show with Shedeur Sanders, but he is the best quarterback in the history of the NFL.
I sent y'all that tweet, where it's like, oh man, he threw a touchdown pass in the NFL. I think the Cleveland Browns are already, talking about retiring the number 12.
I mean, just the best ever, right?
Retiring preseason numbers would be so Cleveland. Would be so Cleveland.
That'd be the most Cleveland thing you've ever seen.
Right.
Yeah.
But he did look good. I mean, his his walk-in game to the preseason game was electric. I mean, was that another player or was that actually just one of his guys that came in with the boombox and the staff?
Oh, I missed this.
You missed that?
Yeah. So
I felt like that was right up your alley to see something like that.
I actually successfly made it watching 0 minutes of the Cleveland Brown preseason.
Oh,
game.
you didn't catch that one? Okay.
But I went back and looked, and point to the wrist. Right?
Yeah, with his first 5-yard run or whatever he did.
Awesome.
Yeah, so let's talk a little. Let's talk a little bit more about this preseason game and where the Packers are headed and kind of what the the next week looks like in this next segment. But I think take a deep breath. It is preseason 1. Everyone's going to be all right. I think it's again tough for those veteran guys, for these guys to step in, play a series or do all that. It's not always going to look perfect. It's not always going to go exactly how you want. The Jets are a team trying to prove something as well, so they're out there actually probably playing it more like a regular season game than the Packers would approach it. So you take every one of these games with a grain of salt, and you just hope you're building towards a really successful regular season here.
I have a follow-up for you as well, Mason, about preseason football and the and the correct decorum during preseason football as well.
Okay.
He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. The Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. The Brewers get a dramatic come-from-behind win over the Mets yesterday with Isaac Collins hitting a walk-off homer off Edwin Diaz. Isaac will join Sparky. Isaac Collins will be on Wisconsin Sports Daily today at 2 o'clock. The hero of the moment, the rookie of the month, maybe the rookie of the year. So he'll be on with Sparky at 2 o'clock. Cannot wait. That is must-listen, must-tune-in radio right here on 1250 a.m., right here on 105.7 FM, right here on The Fan.
On the rope and ride. Six-shooter riding my pony on the cattle drive. And this is my favorite song as a kid. I love that song. Yeah.
That's awesome. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Packers lose Saturday night to the New York Jets. They are now on their way. Not yet. I don't know when they go. Let's see. I have their calendar right here. Let's check what it says. Packers media advisory, media availability. ... Monday practice limited. Players are available this afternoon. Tomorrow, Goody's talking, then LaFleur's talking, then practice. Wednesday, no media. Thursday, they will be in Indianapolis. Matt LaFleur will be available around 2. Then the practice with the Colts at 2:50. Then post-practice players available. Friday, no media, and Saturday is the game. We don't have to move on to Indy just yet. Just wanted to give everybody the lowdown of what the week looks like. With the loss to the Jets and the opening weekend of exhibition football. What else did we like? What do you learn from one game of exhibition? Like what foundation can you build, whether it's team wise or whether it's like player by player? Like obviously,
again, I think these preseason games they're like family night is the start of that, and that's why they do it the way they do. You start getting used to the rhythm.
Is that a cheat code that the Packers have that other teams don't? Because they don't get to play in front of 60,000 people.
Yeah, and you get a bonus time of getting like ready for how to prepare for a game day, right? Mm-hmm. It's just like, and that is something that is kind of underlooked. It's just underappreciated that you are in the NFL now. Say you're a young guy, and getting that rhythm of like how to deal with if family's in town or what the game day rhythm is. How do you what do you eat during the day? How much do you rest? Like how much are you kind of preparing for that game? Like what does that look like? So family night's the start of that. Then you have the preseason game, and I think it's just that rhythm that starts to build. And so those are, to me, that was always kind of the most important thing, getting back into that rhythm. And as I got longer in the NFL, it's like, okay, like you need that one. You need that one to just kind of almost remember some of it. Mm-hmm. Because that's like kind of the thing that you have to do when you play these sports. And I think, obviously Major League Baseball has to do it on a daily basis, but we talk about that reset. It's like year after year, it was almost like, all right, I have to not remember, but it's like you almost have to be reminded. All right, this is when you start preparing. This is like when you get to the stadium. This is how you do all your little things to get ready for those games. And I think those are just as important as what happens on the field, is getting that rhythm and seeing how these guys respond to that game day routine. So, and then the stuff. It's just like looking at. How guys prepared, how they played the game, like what they did. I mean, there's going to be stuff that stands out on film that we didn't even see. You can't see live or from like the game coverage on TV.
Andy's at home breaking it down at the All-22 right now for us.
Exactly.
So, yep.
Yeah, you're just diving deep into that, and you're just going to see, all right, good feet, like who has good feet, who's doing the certain things. That's something I saw with a couple of the DBs out there. Is just like, all right, like be detailed in that footwork. Right. Yeah. It's like a couple times they were trying to anticipate, and like if your feet aren't good against a really good wide receiver, you're going to get burned. Mm-hmm. And it showed up a couple times on the outside there early in that first half, where a couple of those DBs I felt like were just kind of a little. Yeah, they just didn't have great footwork. That was something that stood out to me right away as I was kind of watching some of those young guys. Competing on the edges.
Shouldn't that be some of the stuff that like you get right? And if you're not, if you're not used to the contact, because there's not a lot of contact in camp or those sorts of things. But shouldn't the footwork be something that you should be pretty confident in?
Well, I think that's probably why for these young guys going against another team is good, because you get used to releases and some of the stuff and the route trees that your teammates are going to run. And it's like, all right, what is our offense doing? So you do have to kind of Yeah, you got to feel some of that. I think some of that's just experience, and you have to go against different types of receivers and know that, all right, I cannot guess. I just have to be really good with my footwork, really good with with my eyes, and not try to make stuff up. And so for these young guys, that's where that experience in these games is a positive. Something that I find interesting is why in the world did Caleb Williams not play in that first game and Jordan Love played in the first preseason game? Why wouldn't he play in that preseason game with a new head coach and all of that?
I guess my response to that would be, isn't every organization different? Like, I'm sure Ben Johnson has a plan for Caleb Williams that he thinks is going to ensure his success, whether it's playing in the second and third but not playing in the first, or whatever those mixed practices are, or however that works. Like, just because it's a new coach in Caleb Williams doesn't mean he has to play every preseason game, does it?
And I think I have a direct answer is none of their offensive line was playing.
Oh,
and they spent a lot of money on that O-line, so they have some good O-linemen, and so none of them were playing. So you're like, all right, we're not putting our starting quarterback out there.
Well, and I mentioned this last week because I had heard this story, and I don't know if you can confirm this is true. I heard that Aaron wouldn't play if his two tackles weren't playing. Like in preseason later in his career. Maybe there'd be some mix and match interior, but on the edges, those two tackles, like if it wasn't, whoever, Bakhtiari and whoever, or before that, if it was, Tauscher and Clifton, that's more Favre's era, but still, he wouldn't want to play, and probably most veteran quarterbacks don't want to play if you're not playing with your veteran guys you can count on to protect you.
Yeah, again, it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Yeah. So, to put out that guy where it's like, all right, you have different guys. Your eyes are gonna wander. You're gonna be kind of guessing if if you're gonna be protected well, all of those things. So yeah, it makes it all kind of has to come together and be one thing, and that's why it's so tough. If, again, a few of those guys, and I think that's what happened, right? A few of those guys weren't playing on the Packers front, and it's just it just doesn't feel the same. So,
although Jordan Morgan, had one of the best games, grade-wise, had one of the best games
he
of
played
any,
well.
of any
I think
players.
he needed to play a lot of minutes in that game just to, go against. And, I wish, honestly, it's he didn't start, did he?
I think he did.
Did he start at left tackle?
He started at left tackle, right, Tommy?
That's right. So that's good. I mean, he needs that. He needs to go against, the Jets' kind of best front that they're going to put out in this first preseason game. And, so I think that was important. Those were important reps for a guy like that.
Yeah.
You got to be out there and you got to be, kind of going against their best guys. Zach Tom gave up a little pressure on on one of those plays. I was watching that clip.
But you also don't know what is Zach Tom working on? Zach Tom's working, it's kind of like a pitcher in exhibition baseball. You don't know what pitch, they might get rocked, but because they're working on a pitch that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Could that turn, if Zach Tom's working on a different technique than he's used to, just trying it out, seeing what's going on, seeing what he can get away with? Is there anything to that?
Well, and the guy that he's going up against is completely different from Van Ness and Rashawn Gary.
Yeah.
I mean, guy that I think it was McDonald. Is that who
it was?
Yeah. I mean, he just, he's maybe a smaller guy, a lot quicker, threw that spin move on him. I just feel like you don't see that kind of stuff in practice all the time. And Rashawn Gary and Van Ness, that's just not their I don't think that's their strategy when they're rushing the passer. So that for Zach Tom is probably good to see. And he's like, all right, I'm good now. It's I got paid. I'm a veteran. I saw that. I felt it. I'll correct it. I won't get beat by that again. So that one rep is probably all that he's going to look at and take from that series there in that first preseason game.
T and Pewaukee writes in the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250. Remember, you can text us anytime, 414-677-1250. Mr. Surehands Dobbs in practice did not look great dropping his first pass. And we talked about that already, but I agree. And so my question for you, Mason, is walking around the practice facility or walking around this week, and you're a 10, 12, 15-year veteran. You're one of the elder statesmen on the Packers. It's the late 2010s, early 2020s, and somebody has a really bad game. Is there a vibe to that? Like, is it just business as usual? Do guys try to prop that guy up a little bit? Do guys avoid that guy at all? Like, how did the different personalities mesh when somebody really had a bad day?
And are you just talking preseason or
preseason?
No, I mean,
preseason
yeah, you're just like, all right, let's go back to practice.
Yeah.
Like, you move on. You're looking at the film, but they're competitors. They're going to look at it, very critically and say like, all right, that's not what you. If you're on the field, you don't want to put that out there, right?
Yeah.
It's just that's not what these guys do. So you're going to look at it critically, and all these guys are going to be their toughest critics. There's nothing you can tell Romeo Dobbs that he's not already analyzing and looking at for himself.
Okay.
That's kind of where we get caught up in it all. It's like, and that was always my approach, and I think that's like as you gain experience and confidence once you've been on a team for a long time, where you get ahead of it. So a coach isn't telling you anything that you haven't already maybe put out there.
Okay.
That like, all right, I saw this, I'm looking at this, I'm working on that, I'm doing these things.
Yeah.
That's what a pro does, right? A coach will back away and like not feel the need to jump into those spaces if a guy is critical about his play, good or bad. I mean, it's like you can have a great game, and you can always find something that, oh man, that one release I could have gotten better, or that that one route that receiver ran on me. If you're a DB, like I could have had a better first step there, something like that. Even if you made a play, it's like you just always look deep into those details, and the guys that make it for a long time in this league are those types of players. So the sooner you can get to that point, the more effective you're going to be in the NFL.
That makes sense. He's Mason Crosby. Mitch Nelles here on the Mason Crosby Show. We're presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM. The Fan, free on the Odyssey iHeart apps, also free on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. Coming up next, Mr. Drew Wagner from Forbes Sports, our Milwaukee baseball insider. There's no cheering in the press box, but there had to be some just jaws agape after the way the Brewers won those games Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. Just maybe saying wow under your breath. No cheering, but just wow. Wow.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Drew Wagner is next. This is the Mason Crosby Show. We're presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.
What's the latest on the crew? Let's go inside the clubhouse with Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nelles. Brought to you by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Inside the Clubhouse is brought to you by Focus Baseball, because fundamental development starts with focus. Find them at focusbaseball.com.
He is Mason Crosby. I am Mitch Nelles. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. The leadoff show tonight at 5 o'clock, special 90-minute edition, because first pitch at AmFam Field at 6:40. Andrew Haney and Jose Quintana on the mound tonight as the Pirates are in town. And joining us now on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law, he is our very, very good friend, the one, the only, Drew Wagner. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning, Thunder.
Say hi to Mason. Mason's here, too. Say hi to Mason.
Oh, Mason's here today? Good morning, Mason.
I am here today, yes. Yeah, I mean, normal week this week. But, yeah, it's good having Mitch back. He's, he's back rolling in his normal operating hours.
I got used to sleeping in.
Yeah,
I will
a little
say,
sleepyhead.
Starting at 11 was kind of nice as opposed to sleeping. Having food just like ready for me.
So good.
At the State Fair. Now, there are some Pete's Pops, Cream City, the Bucks and Pete's Pops did some like creamsicle type things for the Cream City uniforms. So there were a couple in the freezer still. So I crushed one of those this morning. It's all about, State Fair might be done, but it's still all about food, Mason.
Always about food. That's
Thank
right.
You. Thank you.
For Drew, it's all about this Brewers baseball team. So, yeah, let's start from the beginning of this series, and let's just start with that Friday night game. What you thought of it as it was unfolding, and then how it ended with that electricity. Just tell us your thoughts on that, Drew. And were you openly excited at the end of that game, or are you not allowed to do that there in the press box?
I'm not allowed to do that there in the press box, and I mean, you get kind of numb to it, but still, I mean, it's pretty impressive. That whole weekend, man, that was some of the best. I feel like we say this after every series now, but that's been some of the best baseball that I've seen this team play in years. I mean, everything is just going right for them right now. Every single thing, every lucky break, every lucky bounce, every decision. It's just all working in their favor. And then beyond that, they're backing it up with the play on the field. We keep hearing about the Brewers being called luck merchants, and that's great. But the thing is, when you get lucky breaks, you have to take advantage of it. It's like, we always hear about Aaron Rodgers and his free play performances. When they call the flag, it's a free play, whatever. Listen, it's one thing to get that flag and get that free play, but it's a whole other thing entirely to complete that 60-yard pass for a touchdown on the free play. It's the same thing here. The Brewers are causing these teams to make all these errors.
Yep.
That's one thing. But then they're going and they're cashing in on it. And that's where the success is coming from. Yeah, they're getting a lot of unearned runs. That means they're doing something after they got the lucky break. And every time they get that lucky break, they do what they have to do to cash in on it.
Exactly. Yeah, and again, you hit it on the head, because it's like high school, little league, then the high school, then college, and once you get to the pros, I mean, there are very few moments in any of these games where you're just going to see as many mistakes. You're not going to see as many mistakes. You have to go out there and put that pressure, keep that stress on these teams. And we talked about it last week. I mean, this team plays stress-filled baseball for their opponents. Their opponents just have to play a full game, and they have to stay locked in, because this Brewers team will just claw their way back. I want to ask, and because we started off the show with this, do you have from Friday night to Sunday afternoon's game, like a walk-off homer or the throw out from center field to home plate? Like, which one, if you were just a spectator, not in the box, like which one would have gotten you more jacked up?
Probably if I was a fan, probably the play at the plate. That was impressive. I mean, listen, there's no INT, but you can't spell media without me. I hate walk-offs, because that usually means I'm rewriting my entire story in the span of 30 seconds. But if I was swilling beer in the stadium, man, like I'm probably getting jacked up over that that Blake Perkins throw. I mean, that was
awesome.
You're looking at extra innings here, and that from a writer standpoint, I'm probably looking at that one too, because the last thing I want to deal with is extra innings. But man, that was phenomenal. That was just absolutely phenomenal. You know what they did this weekend, because they did not play their best baseball. You know, they played good baseball and they made the most of their opportunities, but they weren't as sharp. Quinn Priester had his first clunker in months. It was bound to happen, whatever. But the beauty of it was they found a way to win regardless. They took advantage of it. They had guys step up. They made plays when they had to make plays. They did what they had to do to keep the ball rolling, and that was the impressive thing of it.
We got Drew Wagner with Forbes Sports, our Brewers Clubhouse insider, joining the Mason Crosby show. You said that exactly, because it was like McGill comes in on Friday night to close this thing out, and he just throws meatballs. You know, they were 100-mile-an-hour meatballs, but he's just throwing them right in the center of right across the plate. And all of a sudden, the Mets bats get hot. They're finding hits. And, as soon as that hit went out, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? And then Perkins just saves the day. And then we got to go to old Billy Quintana over there, or not Quintana, sorry, Contreras there at home plate, and what he has done and what his last few series have looked like. Like what do you think has gone on to kind of reset? Obviously, maybe his stuff is a little bit better, but talk a little bit about what old William Contreras is doing over there for this Brewers team.
If his power is really coming back, look out. That's kind of like the last piece of the puzzle right now. Contreras is one of the big boppers in that lineup, and we haven't seen much of that this year. And now he's absolutely crushing the ball. Maybe it is his finger is feeling better. Maybe it's the way he's getting pitched. Whatever it is, he's taking advantage of it. And if his pop is back, I mean, that just takes the Brewers to a whole another level. The gripe that I keep seeing, which I think is ridiculous, is, the Brewers are peaking too soon. They're peaking too soon. Well, there's no such thing as that. You have to win as many games as you can. But if that was the case, take into account, you haven't had Contreras playing up to Contreras standards all year long. And Yelich is in a bit of a funk. You're still missing Reese Hoskins. You're still missing Jackson Chourio. So even if they were, quote-unquote, peaking right now, they're still going to get better in the next coming weeks. And that should be the scary thing to other teams. Like, as good as the Brewers are playing right now, they are not playing at full strength yet. Some of their best players are either in the cooler at the moment or are on the IL. They've got some guys coming back that can make this offense even better, and that could be lights out.
For sure, and not every peak has a sharp fall off on the other side. Sometimes you plateau, and if this is the plateau for this team, I think we would take that for the rest of the season. If this is the best the baseball is going to be for this Brewers club, I think we would take this type of ball the rest of the season.
If they could stay at this level, yes.
Yeah, they reach that kind of, this is the pinnacle and this is the peak, and now they just cruise at this altitude for the rest of the season. I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed what the end result looks like there.
No, not at all. Unless I keep hearing, it doesn't matter because they're going to blow in the playoffs. Just enough with that already. For the love of God, this is like a historic, magical season. Enjoy it. This does not happen very often. What you're seeing right now is not normal in baseball. This has nothing to do with the postseason. There's still a long ways to go and a lot of work that has to be done. And they are playing off their rear ends right now. Like, enjoy it. Worry about the playoffs when the playoffs get here. You still have to qualify for them.
Drew Wagner joining us here on the fan guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. You guys were talking about William Contreras and the home runs. Part of me thinks that all of a sudden he looked at the Wisconsin Lottery Power, whatever it is that they do on FanDuel, and he saw that Bryce Terang had tied him for home runs because Bryce Terang is in the middle of an absolute heater right now. And so Williams said, hold my beer. I got to go hit a couple home runs today so that I'm not tied with Bryce Terang. But we've talked about Bryce Terang throughout the season being this consummate professional. But all of a sudden, he's discovered a power stroke. I mean, his OPS is through the roof over the past 10 days. He comes in yesterday to pinch hit and works a single and ends up scoring a tying run. Like, what impact can this – is this a new and improved Bryce Turang that all of a sudden is hitting home runs?
I think it's the natural evolution. Like, we've written about this a lot this year, and we've talked about it a lot this year. Like, he's got some absolute power in batting practice. I mean, he just goes out there and rakes. And everyone's like, well, why doesn't he just do that in the game? Well, it's hard because your mechanics are different. You're not facing a guy throwing 100 off the peak of the mound. You're just trying to get loose. Getting your timing adjusted to do that takes time. It takes experience. It takes development. We're seeing Bryce Turang evolve. It's easy to forget that this is, his third year in the big leagues. He's still a young player. He's still learning how to do it all. I mean, go back to Carlos Gomez. Carlos Gomez didn't become like a regular 20 home run guy until a couple years into his career. These dudes take time sometimes. You have to learn how to adapt your swing and adjust your swing and adjust your timing and this, that, and the other thing. And you can't do that right off the bat. You're seeing Bryce Turang take that next logical step in his development. And you're kind of seeing it for Sal Frelick too, to a slightly lesser extent. Like, power comes. You have the raw power. Then it's a matter of putting your mechanics in your swing and your abilities in the right spot to take advantage of that. I think the power has always been there, and now you're seeing Turang understand how to use it.
I like that. What do you think? So Isaac Collins with the walk-off homer yesterday, do you think that moved the needle in the national media narrative for him to just kind of get the recognition he deserves as a potential Rookie of the Year candidate?
I mean, I think so, but that could be market bias. I mean,
it's got to do something. I mean, you hit a walk-off homer. It's got to do something. That's everywhere.
I heard from my good friend Mike Farron of MLB Network who said, it's not. I said if he was in any other market, Isaac Collins would be dominating the Rookie of the Year discussion. And Mike said, I disagree. And he made some good points. There's not a runaway winner, but you look at it right now. How can you look at anyone other than Isaac Collins as Rookie of the Year? Never mind the numbers, but you look at how those numbers have impacted the team and what they've meant for this team and what they've helped this team accomplish. And I think you have to take that into account. Then you look at his defensive play. I mean, this guy was absolutely brutal in the outfield in spring training. Like, he was not good.
He had never played it before, right?
He had never played it before.
That's wild.
He went out there his first game, dropped a couple balls, he just looked lost. He was like me trying to go out there in a bar and date. It was horrible. And now he's probably the best defensive left fielder in baseball. I think you take all that into account. So, yeah, I do think he was in a bigger market. He'd be getting more attention for it. I definitely think that. And I think he should be the front runner because it's hard to argue that there's another rookie that has had a better season and had more of an impact on a successful team than Isaac Collins.
That's awesome.
I like that.
That's exciting.
Drew Wagner here, F4 Sports, our Brewers Clubhouse insider, by Andrew Wagner on X, joining the Mason Crosby Show as he does every Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. You don't want to miss it because, we just get to kind of dive deep into what this Brewers team is doing. He's there all the time, checking them out, not celebrating because you're not allowed to do that, but in his heart,
that's right.
He is happy.
That's right. So today, Jose Quintana's on the mound, and talk about the consistency that he just brings as this veteran. He's not a guy who's thrown 97, 99. He's just that wily veteran who changes speeds, changes angles. What has he meant to this team?
He's been a stabilizing force, and I think his role when they brought him in was to be just that. The Brewers' starting pitching depth was taking a beating already early in spring training when they went out and signed him, and then it just got worse as the year went on. Getting him in there was a stabilizing force. He's kind of fallen to the back of the pack now. Not so much because of his performance. I mean, he hasn't been world-beating, but he's been steady. He's been consistent. But they've had so many guys that have stepped up and kind of surpassed him in the pecking order it's hard to see what his role is going to be moving forward. But for the time being, he's just that guy that's going to go out there and you're going to get 5 or 6 innings out of him. That they might not always be pretty, but he's going to leave you with a chance to win. He doesn't win you the game anymore, but he's not going to cost you the game anymore.
What do you think about this series against the Pirates before we let you go? Obviously, they're not. They don't have the best record right now. Obviously, it's one of those you expect to win this series, especially with the pitching lineup again that is coming down the line here with Quintana, then Peralta, then Woodruff, which just is crazy whenever you say that. Just like Quintana's the least of like kind of the pecking order of what this pitching starting pitching crew is right now. What do you expect from this series? And just tell us a little bit about this Pirates team.
I mean, the Pirates are not good, but they've been playing better. They've got a pretty good record the last couple of weeks. They've knocked off some pretty decent teams. They've had some success. They're a bunch of young dudes that are hungry. It's easy to say this, playing the Pirates at home, it should be a sweep. It's not going to be that easy. They're going to come out loaded for bear. They want to knock the Brewers off their rails a little bit. They're going to bring their A game, all the other cliches. It's easy to look past them, especially with such a big road trip looming. You got to go in there with the same approach that you would if you're playing the Dodgers. You got to go in and make that. We got to make life hell for their opposing starting pitching. Try and win that series, and keep in mind that the Cubs are going up to Toronto this week, so it's a chance to gain some ground. And you can only do that if you stick to your game plan, stick to what's been working for you for the last 2-3 months, and that's going in there with a singular approach, a micro approach, pitch by pitch, at bat by at bat, play by play. Don't worry about tomorrow or the day after that. Just worry about today.
And I think this team does that, better than any other team in baseball right now. That's just that's where their success has come from, is just not even, hanging anything on the day before. They're just like, all right, new opportunity. We're going to go and take this one in stride and just play these games one at a time. And I think there's a contingent of fans, like you said, there's a contingent of fans that say they're gonna blow it in the playoffs, they're gonna disappoint us. But there's also probably a contingent of fans that's in the mindset now. It's like it's gonna be disappointing if they don't sweep every series because they've just been so dominant. So it's like winning series isn't enough now. It's just now we need to sweep every game. But we need to come back to earth and say you're probably not going to win every game moving out here. You got some tough ones ahead of you. But I do think this Pirates series, much honestly, you look back, it's like the Marlins series. You gotta kind of look at this team, a team that you're playing, and say what is their recency? What have they done lately? And let's make sure that we have throw our best stuff at them and get into that Toronto series off on a good foot here.
Yeah, it's always tough. Doug Melvin, the old Brewers GM, used to say, I don't look at the standings as much as I look at what has the team done in their last 10 games. It's the teams that come in that are always 8-2, 7-3 in their last 10 games. Those are the teams you have to look out for because that means they're playing well. They're on a roll right now, and you're catching them at the right time. Like look at the Mets. They roll into town, and they were, I think, 10 or 12 games above 500, but they lost 8 of 9 coming in, 9 of 10 coming in. Like they were definitely down and wounded a little bit. So you can have a good team that's playing bad baseball, and you can have a bad team that's playing good baseball, and that can affect more than what their record is in the standings.
I mean, that's what happened when the Marlins came into town, right? They were just playing really well at that moment, and they came in here and won 2 out of 3, and nobody, we didn't see that coming, and that's just baseball.
I can't even remember that happening. The fact that they lost, they lost the series at some point. That's insanity.
Happen.
It's
awesome. We're just saying, that doesn't happen. The Brewers don't lose series.
Oh, no.
And they lost the series to the Marlins. It's crazy.
Yep. Every team can come in there and win. I mean, I don't know what the record is, but I know the Pirates have at least 50 victories on the season. So, chances are they could win a couple. They could definitely win one in here. It's not going to be the end of the world. The Brewers are going to lose a game before the end of this season. It's weird that they only need to win 27. They go 27-18.
Don't say
win 100 games.
That's unbelievable.
That's
unbelievable.
And they got to, they have some tough ones coming up. Cubs are looming, so have to go out there to Wrigley here in a few weeks. Well, I guess what? That's just a week away. That's like 30 games from now, but it's a week from now. So,
and then that's the tough thing is you've got the Pirates this week at home, then you go to Cincinnati, and you look at it. Those are two series the Brewers could win. But if you're looking ahead to next Monday and that 5-4. You're in trouble. You cannot lose sight of the job that you have in front of you, even though that big showdown is looming.
Yeah, and I think this, like I said, this team does it better than any in the Major League Baseball right now. I mean, they are just a one game at a time group that goes out there and they just ball and they find ways to win. So, Drew, really appreciate you joining us again on this this beautiful Monday as we wrap up that series against the Mets and head on to this new one against the Pirates. Can't wait to talk to you again on Thursday and see where this Brewers team is after this Pirates series.
Sounds good, my friends.
Thank you, Drew.
Appreciate it.
That's Drew Wagner joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. And he was right. Pittsburgh has 51 wins on the season.
Yeah.
That means they've won 51 times. And
they can win.
Yep. They lose more than they win, but they're not 0-119.
Exactly.
That'd be rough.
That would be rough.
0-17. I thought 0-17 was rough. Yeah.
Don't look 119.
Don't look at the Colorado Rockies record though. That's
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be tough.
And the Brewers didn't. The Brewers went 4-2 against the Rockies. It's not like they swept they sweep the Dodgers, but they go 4-2 against the Rockies because baseball, right, Mason?
That's how it works. Yeah, they weren't playing their best ball then.
No, that's true. Remember, you can find us anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your pods. Catch the full episode, listen by individual hour, or just go straight to the highlights. Open up your favorite podcasting app, search The Mason Crosby Show. Mason and Crosby, common spelling. Nothing, no silent F's or anything like that.
I haven't changed it yet, yeah.
Puff Mason, like PF Mason. No,
I could go like Maison, like the like the beer.
Yeah.
No, or MAISON.
Yes, like
Maison.
French Maison. Yeah, why not? Hit the follow button. Make sure you hit the follow button and do that on YouTube while you're there as well. Find us at The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube and hit the follow button so you get every minute of the show your way and on your time. We'll take a look around the NFL after exhibition week 1. Some injury updates, some personnel updates to get to as well. And just good opportunity to make fun of some people who deserve being made fun of. Right? That's what
we do at 1020. So
right,
yeah, if you ever want it, that's what we do.
It's either
1020 is the wild card hour.
Yeah, that or NIL.
We're wild card segment.
Or NIL.
That's right.
He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles. We're the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.
Holy smokes. They got a shot.
He just kicked a 70-yard field goal. Are you kidding me?
Crazy.
I've never seen that. The NFL record. That would be an NFL record.
In the first half. Holy smokes.
That's unbelievable.
That is Cam Little of our Jacksonville Jaguars just crushing a 70-yard field goal. That was Friday night, I believe. Mason, 70-yard field goal. Going to happen in an NFL game, yes or no?
It will at some point. Yeah, it will at some point. I honestly hate it for him that it happened in the preseason.
Yes.
Like, what are the odds you get that chance again?
I know.
I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. Like, it's awesome that he had that opportunity, that he nailed it. I mean, he nuked that thing.
Yeah, he did.
And so, I was actually talking to a couple former kickers over the weekend, and we were we were just like, man, I'm kind of glad I don't play anymore. Like, the expectation for these long kicks is getting pretty wild, right? I mean, it is. I mean, I do still wish I was playing, but wish I was in my prime right now. But it is unbelievable.
75-yarders. You'd be kicking
70-yard field goal. There was a time where I felt like I could reach back out and hit that, but I did actually try one against, I think, the New Orleans Saints in a preseason game.
Okay.
I think it was a 67 or 68-yarder.
Okay.
I did not make it.
What happened?
It came up short.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was online but short?
Well, yeah. McCarthy looks at me and he's like, I know it's into the wind. You said your line was like 53 that way.
Into the wind.
And he's like, you want to try it? And I was like, yeah, I mean,
sure.
I'll rip it. It's preseason. Yeah, I did not make that one. But, it was fun getting out there and trying it.
For sure.
That's what preseason's about, too, for
trying
kickers
things.
And all of that is like go out there. And I think my first kick in a preseason game was a 52-yarder in Pittsburgh. So
okay,
and
Pittsburgh's
my
not
rookie year.
As we all know, Pittsburgh is not an easy place to kick, Mason.
I think at that time it might have been. It was a 52 or 53. I think at that time, if it had been regular season, I think I might have tied the longest field goal made in that stadium at that moment.
Okay,
I think it's been broken over and over again since that point. But at that time, had it been regular season, so which is insanity. Like a 53-yarder. That says that some of these stadiums, how hard it is to kick in those stadiums.
Pittsburgh?
Are you trying to troll me?
How high is Pittsburgh compared to
sea level? It's higher than Miami. Because I know that's what you're trying to
Pittsburgh is between 710 and 1370. Above sea level. Yeah,
that's not that high. That's not that high. I mean, that's pretty much.
No,
and
it's
decent. And it's in a low area in Pittsburgh, like right by the river.
Yep.
I think it's in a floodplain, so you're almost underwater.
The lowest.
It was
point
like
is
I
where
kicked
the Ohio
underwater.
River flows.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Right. You're right. Oh my gosh, Mason, you are.
I had to kick underwater.
You are on your elevations.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We are in the fan studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And now, at this point, every team has played an exhibition game. We saw a couple ties, which is always fun in exhibition season. Dolphins and Bears tied, right?
The Bears, The Bears are, I guess ties are okay.
I mean, they're ahead of the Packers in the exhibition seasons in the exhibition season standings.
Yeah,
they are ahead of the Packers. I did notice. I was watching. I actually had the Vikings-Texans game on, and Rondale Moore. I know, kind of a rough story there. Didn't play last year. I think it was his first play, and he gets hit and carted off. And
was that the game that they suspended play?
That was not the one they suspended.
Which one did they suspend?
That was Friday night, wasn't it? Falcons? I think that was the Falcons game.
Okay.
Yeah, that they suspended because the guy got knocked out. I mean, was literally out, and I think he does have feeling in his extremities now, but still kind of a... I mean, that's always a scary situation, Mason.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be big hits in regular season games. I think one of the reasons it might be more jarring in exhibition is because even if you're going at full speed, you're still not going at full speed. And then all of a sudden somebody hits you at full speed, and it is a bit of a shock to the system, right?
I mean, it's the first time you've been hit. Yeah. Like really hit, all off season for almost, 8 months, 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking those first shots. And again, like what breaks my heart too is that it's like you're not, and again, like, okay, don't feel bad, guys get paid a ton of money, but in these games, you're not getting paid. Like you're not getting paid what you would get paid to play in a regular season game.
Yeah.
So these guys are putting it on the line and have potential career-ending or at least season-ending injuries where they're going to lose out on significant amounts of money as well. And that's what you try to get to this professional level. That's part of the process, right? To try to get paid and try to do this professionally. And I think that's maybe something that irks me a little bit about preseason is the expectation to go out there and play and perform and do all this stuff, but they're still not paying you like it's a real game. So It's like, why? Again, that's why I say I think a lot of what I do about veterans, it's like, why would you go out there? I think, what was it, Cook for the Buffalo Bills? Like they were kind of saying you need to play. NFL saying like you're not hurt, you need to be dressed and play in this game, and he refused to play. Right. Because it's like, why would I risk my body? Like you're not paying me a game check to go out there.
That is correct.
So there is a side to that where it's like there's a significant risk of injury still every time you step on that field. But you're not going to be compensated in the same way. So I think that's a piece that the players are going to continue to fight against for sure.
Some other injuries, Landon Dickerson, all-pro left guard for the Eagles, or Pro Bowl left guard, helped off the field, carted indoors, a right leg injury. So we'll see how that affects things there. Morris North, so he's the Lions. He's the Lions player. Yeah. Who ended the game.
Lions,
Lions at Atlanta. He's back with the team. He is in concussion protocol, and they're going to take at least 10 to 14 days to reassess. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, he was carted off the field, put in an ambulance. His head snapped back as he went down while attempting a tackle on a running back. The officiating crew announced that the game was suspended. Players from both teams joined hands in unison to show support as he received medical attention on the field. And I think that's always the scariest part of an NFL game is when players from both teams get together. Because then it's bigger than the game, right? Then it's something serious.
That's when it changes. Yeah, you stop competing and you just start, obviously, being concerned for someone's health. Yep. And again, I do think that's part of the players' jobs as well in these preseason games and in general. Sometimes some of the hits and the shots that guys are trying to take on people. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't always understand.
Why are we trying to hurt?
What are you trying to do there?
Right. Why
like whenever it's like this
life?
Launch finish, I see some of these DBs or someone finishing a play and I'm like, that guy was wrapped up. Like I get like, it's like body shots. It's almost like boxing. You want to get those hits in, but there's some where I'm just like, man, that doesn't make sense. Like, you're going to hurt yourself or you're going to hurt somebody else. And that has in my mind, there's no business. There's nothing that shouldn't be in this game. Like there's no business having any of those types of excessive, reckless physicality in this game. Like they're two good athletes. Like you can control yourself to a point, like until the players kind of protect each other. Like all this kind of stuff will continue to happen. Unfortunately, this type of thing, it's like he's going to make a tackle. It's not anyone's fault there, right? But it's just those finishing things. And you've seen guys hurt their own players in that situation, which is shouldn't be happening.
Where your neck snaps back or whatever it might be. All right, so Mason, are there teams in the NFL known for and I know like we can all point to the Bengals when they had Perfect and they had Pac-Man Jones and stuff like that. I think the Raiders from time to time over the years, and part of that was their persona in the 70s and 80s. Like they went to kill people. Are there still teams in 2025 that are known for being, I don't want to say dirty, but I think you use the word reckless. I think that's the word. Are there teams known for being more reckless than others?
Well, I think there's a defensive, there's probably still coaches out there that it's a mindset of if I don't see you like finishing fully and at full speed, like diving on the pile, like making that last hit, doing all that. Like, I think players get in their minds that like, I'm not going to make this team or, have a place in this defense if I am just not selling out my body and selling out every single play.
Okay.
And I mean, again, it is professional football, and they should be flying around and making these, these aggressive, fast-paced, hard-hitting plays. But I think players have to take it upon themselves and say, like, we will not play that brand of football where we are going to try to knock somebody out of the game to try to gain an advantage. Whether it's like that shouldn't be the intent, but it's like whenever you. Like, even if you're not thinking it, when you launch your body at somebody, when they're held up or, they're going to the ground, like you are risking your health and the health of another player.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just inevitable.
Right.
Like, that is what is happening. So that kind of stuff I think needs to stop. I do want to talk before, we get to extra points. Yep. And this story, and it's Tannenbaum. Parsons could lose starting spot amid contract standoff. Like, why is that even? Why is that the headline?
What does that even mean?
Like, who cares? Like, his starting spot. The second he's back on, like, says I'm either playing for this under this contract or I get a new deal. He is the starter. Like, lose his starting spot. Give me a break. Like, yes, if he's not playing, he's not starting. If he refuses to play,
right? If he's physically not here, he's probably not going to start. They're not going to start 10 and say, "Oh, that's Parsons." Like,
yeah,
but if
that's
he's
Parsons' spot.
Right.
Yeah, it's his spot. We're going to hold it for him. Yeah,
I mean, come on, people. Packers make a move. Packers make a move. Let's go.
I know. It's deteriorating over there. It's like they're going to do this whole thing. I mean, I bet they have a deal in place, and Jerry Jones is just like, we need attention. We need as much attention as we can, and not about our actual football team, but just something on the side. Then CeeDee Lamb gets run over on the sideline.
That's what I was going to say. Talking about needing attention.
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
Did you see? I mean, CeeDee Lamb got jacked up
there?
And like. I guess thankfully he didn't get hurt.
I know he could have gotten hurt, or he could have hurt the
ran
ref.
up on his next snapback. He could have gotten hurt bad.
Yeah, that's just. I mean, that's such a Cowboys thing. He's like out there,
crazy.
Like just to be seen. It's like, why are you standing in the paint on the sideline? Like, get out of the way. That you're not there. Like, if you're not playing in the game, just be in a spot. Maybe be by your wide receiver coach, helping these young guys. But don't be down there, trying to hype things up and get attention. It's just ridiculous. Sure.
What? Yeah, sure. First, she
was
in the field on Saturday.
I was going to mention that on Friday.
And behind the plate yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so right there.
Right around there.
Within the plus minus of, Okay. Sure, yeah. Oh, really? Oh, no. She was just excited to call a strike. It's more fun. I tell
seriously, your first
sports,
one. Yeah. You got to get your first call.
I tell umps like who are umping U12 when there's two strikes. Isn't it more fun to call a strike than a ball? Ring somebody up. Let's go. Right. Yeah.
I have a funny story from my first ever and only umpiring of a little league baseball game. It might have been coach pitch. I think it was coach pitch with Nolan.
Nice.
I was not coaching. I'm in the bleachers. Actually, no, it wasn't even Nolan. It was my I think it was softball. It was my niece.
Okay.
And they're like, oh man, umpires, no one showed up. I'm like there in the off season, and I'm just like,
Mason, you're an athlete. You can umpire.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I know ball. I'll come out there. And so I get out there, and the first, it's like. And there's no one else helping me, mind you. I'm behind the plate trying to call this whole thing. Right. And, it's a close call at first. And unfortunately, it was on my niece's team and I can't see. It's like, okay, bang, bang. And I call her safe. And I kid you not, the other coach just starts, that is, like, he comes at me. And I was like, you want to be the ump? Like, come on. Like, I almost got in a fight, my first ever umpire.
That's awesome.
Umpiring. I mean, I'm kicking dirt. I'm throwing coaches
you're ready
out.
To go. Let's go.
We need that. I wish there was some clip of it.
We need that going viral, yes.
It was crazy. And of course, there were like 3 like really tough calls to make like early in the game, and it got the other coach so heated. And I'm just like, dude, relax. This is like U10 softball, something like that. It was pretty low level. And I said, hey, if this coach doesn't, like, somebody needs to call like a director over here to chill this guy out, because this is insanity.
What do you got, Ram?
Ram, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Mason? I got a question to ask, and it's relative to what you're talking about. What was it like for you as a professional athlete when you first went back to your high school? Like what was the whole euphoria like? You know, it probably had been some years, but the first time you went back to your high school, and I'm just gonna get off the air. I like Mason Crosby stories. That's why
we all. Hey, Ram, you and me both. We all love Mason Crosby stories.
I appreciate it, Ram.
Thanks, Ram. All right, Mason, what do you got?
Yeah. It was, it's always so cool to go back home, and you'll be in that first kind of setting back in your hometown. You don't know what to expect, but you go back into that building and you look at all the things. And I think I sent y'all a clip whenever I went back and I did something with the football program there in their off-season workouts. And I was doing drills on the field, kind of pumping up their players in the weight room. And I think the first thing you realize is like, man, I was young. Like, it's like these guys are young. They're hungry, and you just kind of, it takes you back. And it was cool, the questions you get asked, just like, how did you get out of here? Like, how did you, get to that next level? Like, what were the things that you did? And so I think those are cool reflecting moments. It's cool to see like the pride of like some of these young players, like just saying like, man, it's so awesome that you made it to that level. And you just want to give back, though. Like, my mindset was just like, I just want to lean into these opportunities to teach these young players like what it means to not just be a professional athlete, but also a professional like person, right? Like, just do things the right way, because this game it's fleeting. And you're going to have lean on something else at some point. So that's always my message, and that's what I try to instill. So going back home, and it's always fun. And I still enjoy going back, and I play in my mom's golf event. And it's crazy how many people I've known literally since I was a kindergartner, and I get to go back and and I think that's what's great about going back home too, is like I'm still just Mason Crosby, the kid that grew up in Georgetown, Texas, not always just a professional football player. So there's so many people in my hometown that I can go home and it's just like, they just remember me, growing up in Georgetown. They love what I got to do, but we have you have that kind of deeper personal relationship with people that are back in your hometown, and that makes it really special as well.
That's awesome.
A little Human Monday moment.
We all love Mason Crosby stories. Let's be real. Come on, we love the Mason Crosby stories. That's why I show up. I mean, I can talk sports. I can talk sports with anybody, but I can't hear Mason Crosby stories from anybody except for Mason Crosby.
Have I told you this story that Varsity Blues was filmed in my hometown?
Maybe you did. I don't know. Man.
So the locker room, when
so did you get to hang out with Allie Larder, or should
when
we not
Paul
talk
Walker's
about that?
getting his knee shot up and
whipped cream bikini?
No, I didn't get to be a part of that scene. I was in 8th grade when it was filmed, but I was an extra in the stands because they filmed. That was our high school stadium where they played their home games, and so the scoreboard with the West Canaan. So I broke that scoreboard with a field goal one time.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you
just
did.
Busted out the lights. I mean, I didn't make it. It was the hashes are wider, so it was a right hash kick. Hit about I think it was like a 42-yarder, and I just smashed it and blew out like half the lights on the scoreboard.
That's awesome. I'm gonna apologize to Rich Eisen already. We're getting to you late, Rich. Okay, this is the Mason Crosby show. Okay,
yeah,
you didn't play.
I know. I crept into. I already got into some extra points.
Exactly, Rich. You didn't play in the NFL. Mason Crosby did.
Relax.
Let's go. He's Mason Crosby. I'm Mitch Nelles, aka Thunder. The Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Extra points are next.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today? It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nelles on 1250 AM. And 105.7 FM, The Fan.
All right. Great show today. Another Monday in the books. I already dove a little into the extra points in the last segment. So if you missed it, go to the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on YouTube at The Fan Milwaukee. Just follow the Mason Crosby Show. Just hit that subscribe button. I've always wanted to say that. Like and subscribe. That's what we do. But I kind of went down memory lane a little bit. But you know what? I am excited that football is back, even if it is preseason. I love ball. I love watching football, and I love watching baseball. And I am excited for this Brewers team to keep this thing rolling and keep this thing going tonight against the Pirates. Don't miss our guy Tommy Wirtz, as he has a little extra time tonight on the leadoff show, and he's going to crush it.
Tommy.
Yeah. You don't want to miss him. Every Brewers game on the leadoff show, our guy Tommy Kmart doing his thing. Good to have you back, Mitch. Awesome show today, and let's crush this thing again tomorrow.
No doubt about it. He is Mason Crosby. My name is Mitch Nelles, a.k.a. Thunder. No Thunder at the fair. The fair is over. Unfortunately, ended a day early. Yeah, we should wish everyone well over there and everyone dealing with water still today here in southeastern Wisconsin. The Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, live from the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Back at it again tomorrow. Let's go, Mason Crosby.
Let's go. Have a good rest of your Monday. Talk to you tomorrow.